Hi everybody, I'm Chris Brinkley with the UT Martin Cross Country Preview with Peter Dalton, who's in his 4th season. Good to see you, Peter.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for letting me be here.
You've had quite a bit of success recently. The Skyhawks have made unprecedented waves in the past 3 years, boasting 3 OVC individual champions.
Yeah.
And Ann Asapan and Edwin Kurgat.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell us about the success you've had.
You know, it's I don't want to say it's been surprising, but it's come a little bit faster than I thought at the sharp end of things. But obviously, like, the entire team takes that a little bit longer. So it's been fun to see that it's possible here, but we've got a lot more work to do.
Well, what have you done? How have you gotten to that success? Your goals coming in, and obviously you've accomplished those.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Obviously, when we came in, you know, the cross country was the initial project, and we were, you know, last or next to last for almost a decade. It was to get us in the top half, and you know, while we were at it, to see if we could, you know, pop some of those individual champions, which we have done. Part of my goal was the regional, you know, championships. It was important for me to look bigger than just a conference. So we've done really, really well there, and you know, looking to do even better real soon.
And with that, you've gained somewhat of a reputation. You're ranked.
Yeah. But I mean, preseason rankings mean that they're starting to pay attention to you. It's not a surprise anymore. First year, I think it was 2016, the women were 12th in the region. There's 36 teams in the region. So, you know, for us to be 12th was amazing, and kind of a lot of big surprise to a lot of people. But now we're being ranked preseason, and they kind of know about us, which kind of sucks a little bit. I like the surprise attack, but you know, it's kind of testament to what we're doing.
Does that help recruiting?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when we go recruiting now, we have people all the time, maybe 2 years ago, and wow, I never knew you guys were so good, and that's kind of starting to fade away. They're starting to hear of us more. The athletes who are here are going home to talk about the great experience they're having and all the success. So, or the drumbeat's getting a little bit louder, so the surprise isn't as often.
And you're one of the teams that doesn't just recruit locally, but nationally and also globally.
Yeah, it's all encompassing. I had an email conversation with a lady in Finland yesterday, and there's so many. I'm trying to keep up with them, but it's great. I mean, and I like that part of it. We have a young lady from Belgium here this year. We have a young man from my native Ireland, which is exciting too, on the team, and yeah, so it's been really, really good. And again, you know, even as far away as Europe and further, they're starting to hear about us, so that's exciting too.
Tell us about this year's team.
It's younger on both sides. We have our number 1 lady is out from a non-running related injury, so that's obviously a little bit of disappointment, but it was through no fault of her own, and it's just one of those things called life, which is more than fine. But we have a talented group, a couple of girls, you know, 2 or 3 freshmen that are ready to step in, and I think they're going to step into scoring positions. You score the top 5 in cross country, so you're 5 guys and girls across the line. That's how they count up the points. So 2 freshman girls, both from the region, and then obviously our international Belgian girl. I think they're ready to make an impact and help immediately. And obviously without our number 1 girl, they're going to get that opportunity. So I think, you know, are we on the back foot right out of the gate on the women's side? Yes. Do I think we have enough talent and of course to combat that and overcome it? Yeah, I really do. And then the more and more I see them, it's looking better and better. On the men's side, we have a phenomenal front runner in Ryan Ford. He's a junior this year. And instead of the boy we recruited, he's now the man. And I tell you what, I watched some of his workouts, and it's kind of frightening. I mean, he can really run. Like, it's before there was always flashes of talent, and he'd work hard, but kind of the underclass thing would catch up to him. You know, physiologically the body operates better the more you go, and what have you. So he's really doing a great job. And then we have a phenomenal pack of guys that basically just aren't freshmen anymore. We had a big pack of trying to get the team off the ground with the track team a couple of years ago, and you know, it was kind of hit or miss recruiting the first year, and the second year there was a little bit of belief. So those guys that came in and were freshmen or were sophomores, now they're sophomores and juniors, and it's a horde. And just quickly, I'll let you know how I know we're making progress is we have a little Facebook page, and it's kind of growing, and we had an alumni of the running team more than 20, 25 years ago, there was a high school meet in conjunction with our first meet in Memphis. And I never met the man there, but later he commented on the Facebook page and said, you know, brimming with pride, and it's amazing how the team has grown, and to see them so far in the front. Like, his point of the message was to see them so far up front. Our whole men's team just progressed through the race and just, you know, just sliced through the pack. The later the race went, the further up. The boys came third in Memphis, third of 19 teams. Only got beat by Memphis, the host, and we almost got Missouri. And that was kind of exciting.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, we almost popped Mizzou. Now, you know, it's early season, and these races kind of are almost shadow boxing for later on the championships. But you know, to beat Mizzou, you know, is kind of, you know, or to nearly beat Mizzou. I was actually talking with their assistant coach or later on in the race, and he was like, "Yeah, it's getting a little uncomfortable here." So, you know, but yeah, I think, you know, I think we're in for a good year on the men's side, and I think it's going to be a very good year on the women's side too. But there may be an instance or two where we get, you know, caught without the first girl.
Right.
And that's okay because of where we are. You know, the women were 7th in Memphis of 20-something teams on the women's side. I mean, phenomenal results for 2 or 3 freshmen and 1 or 2 not there missing because of, you know, being cautious with them. So I think it'd be good on both sides. So
For those of us who have never been on a cross-country team, which is most of us,
right.
What's a week like? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so we usually use the weekend. You know, one of the big things physiologically with regard to training is you need to have that long run.
And how long is a long run?
Well, it's different for everybody, you know. So, but obviously, some of the women now would be, you know, an hour, maybe a little bit more, like 65 minutes. That's kind of our low end. You know, the number one boy I mentioned is running 17, 18 miles for a long run. So he's up to like 145, somewhere around there, an hour 45 of a long run. So it varies depending on, you know, ability and background. You know, we always want to cater our training for the individual within the concepts of correct physiology. So. And then, so that's the one block on the weekend that we use Saturday or Sunday, depending on when we're racing. If we race Saturday, we'll do it Sunday. If we don't race, we might do it Saturday. But that longer day, obviously to avoid classes, that's a definite for the weekend. And then usually during the week, we'll do 2 workouts. One will be a speed-based workout, and then the other one will be a strength aerobic-based workout. So that's usually like Tuesday, Friday, you know, on a non-race weekend. So, yeah, no, and then obviously the rest of the time we do, you know, we use the pool for recovery, you know, to keep it's a non-weight bearing exercise. We've seen great success with you know, reducing our incidence of injury. Everyone thinks it's football or one of these impact sports that's the most injury prone in college athletics. If you actually look at the data, it's distance running. So injury prevention is a big thing for us because the only way to get better at distance running is for consistency. It's not about one day, 1 week. You know, when the freshmen come in, they kind of, every now and again, you get a freshman who gets upset because the other freshman gets away from them. And I try to explain to them that this is a spectrum rather than a point on a spectrum. And they understand. They're just, you know, holding themselves accountable, and that's a good thing. But you need to think of the 4-year broad-based training rather than a specific day, week, or even a semester, to be honest with you. I mean, Ryan Ford, I mentioned, the man now who can really run is a junior. And his 2 years up to this have seen bright spots, but there's been other times where he looks like a very different athlete. It's all about rest and recovery, more about rather than mileage and splits.
Gotcha.
And when we're trying to explain that to the athletes, they get it, but it's always a now, you know. The whole culture is now, like slam dunks and whatever, but that's not distance running. Distance running is...
As you mentioned, one event is under your belt already. It's a long season, just like you're talking about right now. And that event was just a blip in the season.
Yeah, exactly.
My final question is, what do you hope to accomplish this year as a team?
Okay. I always dislike to have finalities with regard to you know, success, but it's nice to have. I always like an A goal, a C goal, and a B goal.
Okay.
So you go from like C up and whatever. I can state the A and B quite clearly. With regard to the B goal, we'd like to improve our conference finish to a top 3. We were 5th and 5th last year, which is a great improvement. I mean, like I said, we were 11th or 12th of 12 for a number of years. So for us to keep climbing the conference ladder is success for us. We were 5th and 5th last year. You know, our goal is that at least one of the teams gets top 3, hopefully both. And then the A goal for us will be top 10 in the region.
Yeah.
The women were 12 2 years ago. The men were 13th last year. We're right there. But as you get further into the top 10, you start to hit further and further. So our region is Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. All of the Division 1s in it. So you're talking about FSU and Florida and, you know, Memphis and Alabama and Mississippi State and Tennessee. So there's a lot of big names. So as you go further and further up that, you get in further and further. But, you know, I mean, last year the men beat Florida.
That's right.
I mean, and on. The women beat Memphis and many, many other teams. So we're proud of the accomplishments, but it's time to take that next step to, you know, basically be the mid-major, putting the pressure on the majors. That's what we want to be. And there's a couple of other schools doing a good job of it, but when you look at the top 10, it's really all Power 5 schools and maybe one other, and we want to be that one other.
Okay, we're right on the cusp right now.
Right there.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter.
All right.
For more information on our UT Martin cross country team, be sure to visit utmsports.com. I'm Chris Brinkley. Thanks for watching.